Hey there, y'all, and welcome to today's Daily Down and Dirty. My name is Fairlight. Welcome to Airy Fairy Tarot. All right, y'all, the message today is Meager Mediocrity. We start out with these two, I just want to call them gatekeepers. We've got the king or the father of fire reversed, and then we've got the king or the father of air also reversed. And what they're gatekeeping is this card of abundance. And again, this deck, Dreams of Gaia deck, she just kind of took her own. So sometimes I like to turn them right side up to see what we're talking about in the reversed mode. So you see that she has all this wonderful abundance. She's got a nest in her hand where the birds have hatched, and so it's like giving birth to something. Something has achieved gestation and it has emerged for her. She's got this abundant cornucopia here, this rabbit guarding this pile of money over here, and then everything is being overseen by this protective dragon. And so this is being in alignment with like the flow of life, the goodness of life, really receiving life's rewards. So when it's reversed, it feels like there is a locked door where your access is denied, and the two gatekeepers are these energies right here, both of them being masculine, both of them being of the masculine elements, fire and air. And so this energy, when this king or this father is reversed, he could be very arrogant, could be kind of scary, have a fiery temper, very controlling through fear. His ego is what's on top, and so it could be like a toxic thing where he always needs to be the person in the limelight. He always has to be the right. He always has to be whatever it is, but using his power for his own gain and to control others. And then with this energy, this can be a very mentally manipulative person, someone who maybe gaslights, who you could share an idea and he would take the words that you used to describe your idea and rearrange it into something you didn't say, and then try to confuse you about what your meaning is. And all the while he's just playing a game of domination with you. He has no interest in what you have to say. He just has an interest in keeping you confused and dominating you. So it could be someone who plays a lot of head games, who establishes beliefs founded on nothing, like that whole thing of there's the givers and there's the takers. And it's like, yeah, that was made up by the takers. But truly, the truth is that we are complete systems unto ourselves. We are meant to receive. We are activators, we are givers, but we're also meant to be receivers. So again, it's these beliefs and the fear, it feels like, is what's gatekeeping you out of all of this abundance. Then we've got 5 cards in a row. Of all the cards that came out in this reading, only 2 are upright. And so in this row, we've got all these cards, and the only one upright is this maiden card. What really caught me about this card is her bare feet. I'm not even sure why that struck me so strong, except that there is something very nourishing about grounding, about putting your bare feet on the earth and really establishing a connection. The way I've heard it described is that the earth's negative ions flow into our bodies and helps with this rebalancing. It's very recalibrating. And her being the maiden, it kind of reminds me of Alice in Wonderland, how she's making friends with this white rabbit, and there's almost like a portal made by the trees right here. So it's like she's on these brand new discoveries. She is the maiden. She's kind of unfettered by responsibilities, and so she does have the freedom to connect with whatever rabbit holes she wants to go down, whatever discovery she wants to go into. And so it feels like this personifies all of us, regardless of gender, how we start out in life with all these ideas and all these explorations, and the world is new and we feel connected into life, and then all of these other things happen. So then we've got this mother of water reversed. And what I was feeling with this one next to this one and then this here, it feels like, she has been taught to suppress her emotions. Her throat is illuminated, but she's reversed. So it's like always suppressing her truth, always suppressing her truth, suppressing her ideas, suppressing her emotions, suppression of expression, and just kind of acquiescing to the timing of others. She's got the moon at her crown, but she's reversed, so she doesn't really align to her divine timing. She obeys the clock. She obeys other people's timelines. It's like she's just here to be a background character to everybody else's main story character, and it feels like that's who she gets turned into. And I think a lot of us have felt that way through indoctrination and programming, so much inspired by patriarchal religions and politics, so they can fuck themselves. Anyway, so that reversed, and then because we're putting ourselves last and we're suppressing who we really are and we're suppressing what we really want, then it's like we don't even go on pathways of our own choosing. And you know, in this card, there's a path in the daylight, there's a path to the night. Neither pathway is wrong, it's just that these doors are always open to us, and often we feel compelled to choose a different path, and sometimes choosing that path is fully illuminated. We know exactly where we're going. Sometimes the path has no information at all, but there's just something that really compels us to go into the night. But with this being reversed, it's like we don't value ourselves enough to even challenge what's been put on us, or to challenge the path we find ourselves, or to recognize that we can choose something else. And then with that, we've got this 3 of Pentacles reversed, also this 3 Major Arcana reversed. And so, you know, this upright, this is the Starving Artist card for me. It's really investing yourself in what truly speaks to you, what truly speaks to your gifts, talents, interests, soul's purpose, even what really aligns to what feels like the work that you want to do in life. And that can change, you know, from day to day, or year to year, or decade to decade. Like, you're allowed to expand and explore yourself. But when this is reversed, this is like having to defer to, well, you know what I think you should do. So whether you're a talented artist, or you know, you want to go in some direction, when others say, well, no, I think you need to get a job at the factory, or I think you need to go to college and become a lawyer, or whatever, it doesn't really align with who you are. And so you defer your choices, and you just blindly accept what is put on you, the path to follow. And so with that, you never go on this journey of personal discovery. It's like you're denied this journey of your soul's path, and about what you can achieve and experience and explore in life. All of these things. So it feels really important to recognize meager mediocrity, and no matter what age you find yourself out now, to fuck that, to say no, fuck that. I am not settling for meager mediocrity, and embrace the journey. Then down here we have the only other upright card. We've got this 4 of Fire, and then this Apprentice card, this 9 reversed. Usually the 9 is the Hermit, but I like in this deck, and both of these are the youths, except that he's reversed, but both of these, just like we have the Maiden, Mother, and the Crone, and we have counterparts. So with the Maiden we have the Apprentice, with the Mother we have the Father, and with the Crone there's the Sage. It would be pretty cool if this one were turned right side up. This is about having the freedom to learn, having the freedom to educate yourself, and discover hidden knowledge, or discover knowledge that maybe was maybe reserved for others, and really empowering yourself to say, I may not know what I want to know, but I know that I have the power to learn. It's at my fingertips. And so, you know, with this being reversed, it does kind of feel like taking a shot in the dark. I really like this card regardless of what other cards are around it, because she knows exactly what she's aiming for. She has this heightened vision of what she's aiming for. And you know, with other cards that where they're aiming, they know what they're aiming for. It's like, you know, the target can be as big as a wall. It doesn't even matter where you hit in the target, as long as you know the direction you're aiming for, where you want to shoot, where you're going towards, as long as you have a vision and you're looking in that direction. With this one, because sometimes what I'll say with that is, it's very important to be clear about what you're moving towards and not looking behind you. And so sometimes it could be you have a clear vision of what you want to do, say you want to write a book, but then what you start looking at is, well, I was denied a proper education, and I had, I wasn't really given the opportunities to do what I wanted. And so sometimes that can skew your focus if you look at what was denied you, but then also then on the other side of it is sometimes there is information available, and so we have to be aware of our own cognitive dissonance. If you were raised to believe that the earth is flat, and then you keep being presented with evidence that the earth is round, but you feel like you have to be loyal to the earth is flat kind of paradigm, then that could really skew how you aim for what you're shooting for in life, because sometimes the education can benefit you. I guess I don't know if it really matters if most people know that the earth is round or flat, but there's just something about that education, sometimes you might deny learning new things and think that you know all there is to know while you're aiming for it. I feel like it's important to aim for what you're looking for anyway, but then when if it falls short of the mark, easy for me to say, if the arrow lands short of the mark, then instead of feeling like these kinds of energies where I just have to be right and gatekeeping to this abundance. So it's funny how somehow we become these energies and we block ourselves out of achieving more because because of a need to toxic ego, or a need to be right about all things. And when you need to be right about all things all the time, then you really prevent yourself from exploring and learning and discovering new and better information. So again, and then what I also was going to say is, sometimes if you look to the defeats of the past or limitations from the past, you lose sight of what you're aiming for, and you end up flying your arrow behind you to the past, and then you end up repeating more of the same limitations and things not working out and whatever. So don't be afraid to admit that you don't know. Don't be afraid to admit, like, yeah, I really have a lot to learn when it comes to this. But if this is compelling you forward, then by all means, embrace what knowledge you have access to, or seek out the knowledge that will guide your vision all the more. And definitely don't settle for meager mediocrity. All right, that's all I have for today. Once again, my name is Fairlight. Thank you so much for watching. Peace and love. Until next time.